Today we're going to start our unit on polynomials. We're going to identify, classify, add, and subtract polynomials. Some vocabulary to start out with. A monomial. A monomial is a number or a product of numbers and variables, so it's like 4, it's a monomial, or a product of numbers and variables, 4x, with whole number exponents. Whole number exponents means anything raised to a power has to be a whole number. It can't be a fraction, a square root, or anything else. Polynomial. A monomial or a sum or difference of monomials. Each monomial in a polynomial is a term. Here's some examples of polynomials. A number, a variable raised to a whole number power exponent. We're adding some monomials. There's a number raised to a whole number power. A decimal in the beginning is fine, and I'm subtracting. Now, what is not a monomial? I have a number raised to an exponent. Can't happen. I have a variable raised to not a whole number exponent. Can't happen. Here, if I moved that y squared up to the numerator, it'd be a y to the negative 2, and I can't have a negative exponent. This is the absolute value, not allowed. Square root of a variable, not allowed. Those are all not polynomials. More vocabulary. The degree of a monomial, the sum of the exponents of the variables. We'll get into some examples in the next slide, but that is the degree of a monomial, so write it down so we can remember later. The degree of a polynomial, long explanation. It's given by the term with the greatest degree. Remember, a polynomial is a bunch of monomials. So the degree of the polynomial is given by the term with the greatest degree. A polynomial with one variable is in standard form when its terms are written in decreasing order by degree. So a polynomial, bunch of terms, the same variable in each term. Standard form means it's like x squared, x to a constant, descending order. So in standard form, the degree of the first term indicates the degree of the polynomial, shortened there, sorry. And the leading coefficient is the coefficient of the first term. Example, 5x squared plus 3x plus 4. That is your leading coefficient, 5. So that is the degree of the polynomial. Second degree, 5 is your leading coefficient. And this has 1, 2, 3 terms. And we are learning that is going to be a trinomial. And the second means that it's quadratic. Which leads us into this slide, classifying polynomials. This is a big chart, name, that's the name of our polynomial, the degree, and just an example. So constant has a degree of 0, no variable. Linear has a degree of 1. That is our leading term, degree of 1. Leading term, second degree, quadratic. Leading term, third degree, cubic. Leading term, fourth degree, quartic. Leading term, fifth degree, quintic. And very important, a polynomial with 2 terms is a binomial. 3 terms is a trinomial. More than 3 terms, we just call a polynomial with however many terms. Okay? First example, identify the degree of each monomial. Exponent is 6, degree is 6. These are quite simple. Exponents, you add them. 1 plus 3 is 4, degree is 4. 5.6, its exponent is actually 0, because if you remember, any variable raised to a 0 exponent equals 1. So your exponent is 0, degree is 0. Add your exponents, 2 plus 1 plus 3, your degree is 6. So identifying the monomial, you look at just that monomial, add together each exponent. which is very different from polynomials. Example, rewrite in standard form, identify the leading coefficient, the degree, the number of terms, and name it. First example, reorder it in decreasing order. Your leading coefficients, the number in front, -5. The degree is the degree of your first term, which is 2. Number of terms, 1, 2, 3. And then you name it using that chart that you wrote down before. It's a quadratic trinomial. Quadratic is from the degree, trinomial means there's 3. Next example, rewrite it in decreasing order, cubed, squared, first power, constant. Leading coefficient, when there's no number there, there's always a 1. Degree is 3, because that's your your first term's coefficient. I'm sorry, your first term's exponent is 3. Number of terms, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a cubic polynomial with 4 terms. And that last part is just reading the chart, the previous slide. Adding and subtracting polynomials. We've been doing this for a while. Now it's just more formal. Combine like terms. You can add horizontally or vertically. I think we're all going to add horizontally, but I did one example vertically just so that we had that in our minds. It might be easier for some students. Polynomial plus polynomial. So if we add vertically, we're going to write them in standard form and align the like terms. So the first one I just reordered in standard form. The second one I aligned them. This first term doesn't have a squared, so there's nothing there. Add straight down and you have an answer. The second one is subtraction. You can add the opposite sign horizontally, or we've always just been used to distributing that negative. So 3 minus 2x, and then I just distributed that negative. Negative x squared, -6, positive x. And then I just made funny little marks underneath them to just collect like terms. When I'm adding these and subtracting these live, I actually will cross off the terms as I'm done. For example, the x squared and the x squared. -2, negative x gives me -3x. The next term is the x term. And the last term are the constants. 3 and -6 gives me -3. Once everything's crossed off, I know I haven't missed anything and I have a final answer. That's all for today.